let's just be real for a second. I'm not sitting here to read you a polished script. I'm not here to give you those 10 steps to happiness that you see all over YouTube. I'm just here, sitting in front of this mic, and you're there. Maybe in your car, maybe at the gym, or maybe you're lying in bed staring at the ceiling because you can't sleep. I want to ask you something. How long have you been running? I don't mean physically. I mean in your soul, running after that promotion, that bigger house, that newer phone, that perfect image on social media that makes everyone else jealous. And here is the big secret that nobody wants to tell you. The closer you get to that finish line, the further away it moves. Every time you hit a goal or get more followers, you realize that the hole in the middle of your chest, it's actually getting bigger. Welcome to Silent Truths. Today, we aren't talking about success. Today, we are going deep into the void that comes after success. We're talking about that feeling of being a stranger, even when you're with your family, and feeling lonely, even when you have thousands of friends online. Stay with me, word by word, because today we're going to break down the idols we've built inside us. We're going to try and find the real you that got lost in the noise. If you're ready to face the truth, let's start the journey. You know what the biggest lie we were told as kids was? It's that sentence, once you reach your goal, then you'll be happy. They told us that in school, in college, even in our first jobs. But the bitter truth is that arrival is a total myth. Imagine yourself in a boat in the middle of the ocean. Every time you see an island in the distance, you say, that's it. That's where my happiness is. You put in all your energy. You row with everything you have. You finally reach the shore, and you realize it's just sand and rocks. The joy lasts an hour, maybe a day, and then what? That little voice in the back of your head starts whispering again, okay, what's next? This is what psychologists call the hedonic treadmill. We're literally running in place. We buy, we consume, we achieve, but it's all just an escape from the fact that we are spiritually hungry. We are a generation that owns everything, but feels like we own nothing. We have the fastest internet, but the slowest human connection. We have the most beautiful houses, but the most scattered souls. Why? Because we forgot that meaning isn't in the things we collect. It's in the awareness we live with. Have you noticed something weird about your life lately? Why is it that the moment you get in the car, you turn on the radio? Why is it that as soon as you walk into your house, you turn on the TV? Why is it that when you're just sitting there for a minute, your hand automatically reaches for your phone? I'll tell you why. Because you're terrified of the silence. Silence has become like a monster to us because silence is the only place where you can't lie to yourself. When the noise around you dies down, the void starts to talk. It starts asking those terrifying questions. Who are you really? Why are you doing what you do every day? Are you actually happy or are you just performing happiness? We are addicted to noise, not because we love the noise, but because we are running from the confrontation. We are running from the mirror that shows us we are empty inside. But listen to me carefully. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is the laboratory where the greatest truths are born. If you can't sit in a room alone for 10 minutes without your phone, then you are a prisoner of the noise and a prisoner of the fear of your own depths. Let's dig a bit deeper. We talk a lot about physical hunger. We know what it feels like when we haven't eaten, but have you ever felt soul hunger? It's that feeling where you can have a full stomach, a full bank account, and a full house, but your spirit feels like it's starving. We try to feed our souls with junk food. We give it social media validation. We give it short-term pleasures. We give it status. But the soul can't digest that stuff. No, it needs something else. It needs authenticity. It needs connection. It needs to feel like it matters beyond just being a cog in a machine. Think about the last time you did something just because it felt right in your heart, not because it made you money or made you look good. That was the last time you fed your soul. The void is just a stomach that is empty, and it's been empty for a long time. Let's talk about the mask. You know the one I mean, the face you put on before you leave the house, the "I'm doing great" voice you use when a coworker asks how you are, the perfect life you curate on your Instagram feed. We spend so much energy maintaining this character, this version of ourselves that we want the world to see. But have you ever stopped to think about the cost? The more you invest in the mask, the more the person behind the mask starts to wither away, like an actor who's been playing a role for so long that you've forgotten your own name. This is why the void feels so heavy, because the void is the gap between who you are and who you're pretending to be. Every time you laugh at a joke that isn't funny, every time you agree with an opinion you hate, every time you say yes when your soul is screaming no, every time the void grows. We are terrified that if we take off the mask, people won't like what they see. But here's a secret. Everyone else is just as terrified as you are. We're all just a bunch of actors looking at each other, waiting for someone to be real. Pretending is exhausting. It's a slow suicide of the spirit. And the only way to kill the void is to start being honest, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable. We live in a culture that is obsessed with more. More money, more productivity, more followers, more likes. But have you noticed that more is a moving target? If you have 1,000, you want 10,000. If you have a small apartment, you want a villa. We've been conditioned to believe that enough doesn't exist. We are constantly looking for the next thing to fill us up, but it's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You can pour in all the success in the world, but it's just going to leak out. Why? Because you're looking for quality in a world that only cares about quantity. You don't need more friends, you need deeper connections. You don't need more hobbies, you need more passion. You don't need more time, you need more presence. The more trap is designed to keep you running, because as long as you're running, you're not looking inward. As long as you're chasing the next high, you don't have to face the hollow feeling inside. Stop. Just stop. Look at what you have right now. If you aren't happy with this, you won't be happy with that. Happiness isn't an accumulation, it's a realization. Let's be honest about our phones. They aren't just tools anymore. They are life support systems for our distractions. Every time we feel a flicker of boredom or a hint of sadness or a moment of loneliness, what do? We reach for the screen. We start scrolling, infinite scrolling. We are drowning our brains in a flood of useless information just so we don't have to feel the weight of our own existence. We are in a digital coma. We know everything about people we've never met, but we know nothing about the person looking back at us in the mirror. We are connected to the whole world, but we've never felt more disconnected from ourselves. This constant stimulation is killing our ability to feel deep meaning. Our brains are so fried by dopamine hits that the quiet joy of a sunset or a real conversation feels boring. The void loves the screen, because as long as your eyes are glued to those pixels, your heart is on standby. I challenge you. Try to go an hour without checking. Just an hour. Watch what happens. Watch how the anxiety rises. That anxiety is the void trying to get your attention. Don't drown it out. Listen to it. Have you ever felt like you're haunted? I don't mean by spirits or things under the bed. I mean by the ghost of the person you could have been. We all have this image of ourselves, the one who followed their passion, the one who spoke their truth, the one who lived with courage. But then, life happened. We chose security over risk. We chose the safe career over the calling. We chose to fit in rather than stand out. The void is actually the sound of that unlived life screaming for air. It's that hobby you gave up because it didn't make money. It's that dream you buried because people said it was unrealistic. We think we're being responsible by ignoring our internal fire, But all we're doing is creating a cold, dark space where our soul used to be. You can't bribe your potential to go away. You can't buy enough things to make it stop whispering. It's always there, in the back of your mind, reminding you that you're living a smaller version of your life than you were meant to. The void isn't a sign that you're broken, it's a sign that you're underoccupied. Your soul has more room than you're using. It has more capacity for love, for creation, and for truth than your current life allows. So, we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. How do we actually start to feel full? Viktor Frankl, a man who survived the darkest places humanity has ever seen, once said that the primary drive in a human being is not pleasure, it's meaning. Happiness is a side effect. It's not something you can chase. If you chase happiness, it runs away. But if you build meaning, happiness finds you. Meaning is found in three things: creation, connection, and contribution. Creation, doing something because it's a reflection of who you are, not for the money, not for the fame, just for the act itself. Connection, seeing another person, really seeing them, and letting them see you. No masks, no games. Contribution, realizing that you are a part of something much bigger than yourself. The void starts to shrink the moment you stop asking, "What can I get?" and start asking, "What can I give?" When you help someone else carry their burden, yours somehow feels lighter. When you tell the truth, your chest feels less hollow. When you stop living for them and start living for something higher, the air starts to come back into the room. We're coming to the end of this journey for today. But really, it's just the beginning for you. The void is not your enemy. I want you to stop seeing it as a pit of darkness. Instead, I want you to see it as a sacred space. It's an invitation. It's the Creator's way of keeping you from getting too comfortable in a world that can never truly satisfy you. If you never felt that emptiness, you would never look for the fullness. You don't need another vacation. You don't need a new car. You don't need a bigger house. You just need to come home. Home is that place inside you where the noise stops. Home is where you are enough just as you are. Home is where you stop performing and start existing. The peace you've been looking for, it's been waiting for you this whole time. It was under the noise. It was behind the mask. It was in the very center of the silence you were so afraid of. Thank you. Honestly, thank you for sitting with me through this. If you made it this far, it's because your soul is ready to wake up. Don't let this feeling go. Don't go back to the scrolling and the noise right away. Sit in the quiet for just 5 more minutes. If this spoke to you, join us at Silent Truths. Subscribe. Share this with someone who's been running for too long. I want to hear from you. What is the one thing you've been ignoring that you know you need to face? Let's talk in the comments. Wait for our next episode. We're going to dive into the golden cage. What to do when you have everything but still feel trapped. Until then, listen to the silence and take care of your soul. Until next time.